Take a look around. It's quiet out here. But inside my head, for years, it's been loud. I turned 70 years old last month, and my total retirement balance is essentially zero. Not a nest egg, not a 401k to lean on, not a paid-off home, just the clothes on my back and a Social Security check. When people hear that, they immediately judge. They think, what did she do wrong? Was she reckless? The truth is, I worked every single decade of my adult life. 48 years of hard, honest work. It didn't happen overnight. It happened in small, quiet compromises, life detours, and silent emergencies. I want to tell you the unvarnished truth to truth today. Not for sympathy, but because so many of you are walking the same path. In my 20s, I believed in the myth of unlimited time. Retirement felt like a fairy tale 1,000 years away. I started in entry-level administrative work. The pay was modest, just enough to cover rent and groceries. Everyone said, save 10%. But when every dollar is spoken for, you promise yourself you'll start next year. Next year turns into 5 years, then 10 years, and you convince yourself you're young enough to catch up later. In my 30s, life really accelerated. I got married, had 2 wonderful children, and bought a modest suburban house. Suddenly, every extra dime went into braces, school shoes, soccer fees, and fixing leaky roofs. We told ourselves we were investing in our family. Putting ourselves last felt like the noble, loving thing to do. My husband and I opened a savings account, but whenever an engine blew or medical bills arrived, we emptied it. We were living paycheck to paycheck on 2 decent salaries, constantly believing that our financial peak was right around the bend. That's mistake number 1. Confusing regular income with long-term wealth. They are entirely different things. Then came my 40s, when life decided to test our foundations with sledgehammers. After 22 years together, my marriage dissolved. A late-life divorce is a financial grenade. What little equity we had in our home vanished into legal fees and splitting assets in half. Suddenly, I was a single woman in my mid-40s, paying rent alone, rebuilding life from scratch. I took on extra hours, I worked nights, I clawed my way back to stability, but saving was impossible. Just as I caught my breath in my 50s, my aging parents fell severely ill. I became their primary caregiver. I had to cut my work hours in half, to drive to doctor appointments and manage treatments. No one prepares you for the financial cost of eldercare. Long-term care costs ate through my final small reserves. I don't regret caring for them for a single second. But the financial penalty for caregiving in our society is brutal. Then came 2008. The company I worked for went under, and finding a job at 58 was an uphill battle. Age discrimination is real and subtle. I had to take lower-paying roles just to keep the lights turned on. Decade after decade, every time I stood up, life threw another wave, and compound interest waited for no one. At 65, the reality finally hit like a freight train. Traditional retirement was never going to happen for me. I remember sitting at my kitchen table, staring at utility bills, crying until my ribs ached with shame. I felt like a complete failure. Society tells you that without a big retirement account, your life was mismanaged. I spent nearly 2 years frozen in fear and regret, constantly asking myself, what if I had done things differently? What if I didn't buy that car? What if I hadn't helped so many relatives? What if, what if, what if? But looking backwards in the rearview mirror will only cause you to crash the road right in front of you. At 67, I made a choice. I decided to stop mourning the retirement I didn't have and design the reality I did. I downsized drastically. I sold almost everything I owned and moved into a small, affordable mountain studio. I stripped my life down to what genuinely matters: clean air, simple food, good health, and peace of mind. I realized that freedom isn't always a number in a brokerage account. Sometimes it's living within honest limits. People ask me, "So what do you do now? How do you survive every month at 70?" I work 15 hours a week at a local community library and sell hand-knitted pieces online. I don't go on luxury cruises or dine at expensive restaurants, but I walk these mountain roads every morning for free. Working in my 70s keeps my mind sharp, my body moving, and connects me with everyday people in my town. I redefined what retirement means. It isn't stopping completely, it's living intentionally on your own terms. I am healthier and happier today than I was at 50, carrying the weight of impossible debt and anxiety. The shame is completely gone. I survived every single tragedy life threw at me, and I am standing tall, standing proud. If you are in your 20s, 30s, or 40s watching this, please listen to my words carefully. Pay yourself first, even if it's $20 a week. Automate it. Treat compound interest like sacred law. Protect yourself legally and financially before you rescue everyone else around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you are in your 50s or 60s right now, with nothing saved, do not give in to despair. Let go of the traditional fantasy. Cut your expenses today. Build modest, active income, and claim your peace. I may not have a retirement account, but I have my health, my dignity, and another beautiful sunrise tomorrow. Life doesn't end when the plan breaks. It begins the moment you decide to keep walking. Thank you for watching.